Hi, this is Monica Mitchell-Muir, Advanced Certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor and Intuit Premier Reseller. And today I want to show you some of the new features in QuickBooks 2018. So these will cover the desktop products, Pro, Premier, and Enterprise. So when we're looking at these products, then a few of the goals for Intuit was to help you get your work done faster, improve cash flow, and also improve security. So for starters, if you're like me and you've got more than one monitor and you have been working in some of the screens in QuickBooks and there's a pop-up window and you're looking like, well, where's the pop-up window? I don't see it, right? It might be on either the other monitor. I've had it behind other windows. So the 2018 version actually does support working with more than one monitor. And it'll be in the upper right-hand corner, there's a feature that you turn on, and once you've turned it on, then you'll have the ability to switch back and forth between monitors. You can stretch across the monitor, and you can actually have up to 3 monitors. They do say that they want the monitors to touch each other in order for this to work, but that'll be a nice feature. And next is the ability to search your chart of accounts. Now, some people are very comfortable in the chart of accounts. If you're not sure, where it is, or I know sometimes I've had clients who will sort them alphabetically, and then I come in and I sort them by accounting order or vice versa. Then what you'll find is you don't know where it is, or maybe you're not sure quite what the name was, but this way you can at least put in part of the name and search, and it will take you to the account, or at least bring you to a group of them. If you're like me, I know many of you are not, but I'm still a keystroke person. I started using QuickBooks back in the DOS days. And so now there are a few more keystrokes that you can use. And you can actually, you could right click and copy lines, but now you can do keystrokes. So to copy a line, you select the row. So in this case, it'd be installation labor. And the keys is Control, Alt, and Y all at the same time. And then to paste, then it would be Control, Alt, and V. And the Control V is the common paste keystroke. So that'll help. I don't have a good way to remember the other one, but the Control, Alt, Y for copy, Control, Alt, V for paste when you're in the middle of transactions. But if you're like me, a keystroke person, you will love to have that go a little bit faster. If you run your financial statements, I know a lot of people will run them on an accrual basis, but then sometimes you want to see what it is on a cash basis. And in the past, you've had to click on Customize Report, and then you choose then you can switch your report basis. So it's not that you can't do it, it's that this way it becomes it's a toggle. So now you don't have to click on Customize Report, you can simply click on here, you can just change the button that you're looking at, and then it'll refresh. Another new feature is, and this is to help with cash flow, is I know sometimes you have customers that might be late on an invoice, and if you are still mailing out invoices, I know my mom is anything but a computer person, so if you're dealing with people like her, you got to put things through the regular mail, and maybe for some of your commercial clients, that's what you do as well. But in the past, you've had to find a way to put a stamp on there that says past due. So now there's a couple ways that you can do this. First off, you can actually, you can turn it on or off and the screen here. So right now it's saying that I have it turned on. I could actually have it turned off. But another way that you can do this is you can actually have it on a template. So if you decide that in most cases you want to have it on, but there are exceptions or vice versa, then you've got that option. So in order to put it on a template, then you would go under a list and then down to the templates, or you go to edit your template, or if you're in the template screen, then you've got the ability to customize the template. You want to be on over here where it says basic customization. That's the part of the customizing that you want to be in. And then when you go down below, you'll see there's an option to have the print past due stamp. And this will be select only when you want to include the past due information stamp. And so that will show on your template. Another new feature, for those of you that do payroll, is the payroll liability reminder. If you've ever been late, I know some people you're going to be kicking yourself because then you get paid penalties and interest, right? And that's no fun. But, you know, I can remember when I first started doing payroll years ago that I had a chart trying to remember which ones were due when and then trying to keep up with that. You do it long enough, you know, but, you know, when you're new to it or you get busy, you might forget. So there's now, they have a little flag that will show up on here. So I've made it a little bit larger, but it'll show up on your home page if you've got that showing. And I believe it pops up about 7 days in advance of when the payment is due. So it gives you time to mail if you're still mailing, and definitely to be able to e-file if you're doing that, and to get funds moved around if you need to do that as well. And again, that when you click on the payroll liabilities, it'll take you into here, let you see what you owe and when it's due. Now this is a sample file, so things seem to be working okay. Another new feature, this is actually to update their security and to work with industry standards now. So what you'll find is when you click on send forms in the preferences, you want to go, and these are under my preferences, not the company preferences. You want to go to the web mail, and then when you click on that, it'll add a place for you to put in your email address and your email provider. But this is what you want to do, is you want to say use enhanced security. That's what's being recommended. And then the next thing is you'll get a pop-up to provide your Intuit email or user ID, and then your password. And then and once you've authorized QuickBooks with full account access, then you'll be able to send your QuickBooks emails securely. And I've noticed actually in the version 17 for some that I think it slipped out in one of the patches there, but definitely a good thing for 2018. If you work with inventory, then another nice feature is the ability to customize some of the reports that that you couldn't. One of them being the inventory stock status. So you see that there's certain columns here, but now if you go into customize the report, you'll have the option. And I have found it'll depend on the report that you might have. You have a whole bunch of different fields that you can select from. There are 3 reports that this is good for. The first one is inventory stock status by item, which is the one that I have on the screen here. Inventory valuation and assembly shortage. Those are the 3. Also to note, this is available in QuickBooks Premier and QuickBooks Enterprise. This is not available in QuickBooks Pro. Another new feature is the ability to merge vendors. You know, a lot of times if you're downloading transactions, that's what I notice it the most. It's like the Staples store number, you know, or Office Depot store number, or, you know, if you go to the same gas station but not the same location, they all have like a store number, right? Or there's different people who have entered in names, and everyone has their own way of entering. So you might find that the same name gets entered maybe 3 or 4 times, sometimes more. So if you are in the accountant version of Premier, or if you are in QuickBooks Enterprise, this is available to you. If you are in QuickBooks Pro, and if you're in one of the Premiers like the Contractors Edition or Professional Services or Manufacturing, Wholesale, or Nonprofit, this is not available for you. It has to be the QuickBooks Accountant or Enterprise. But you can select up to 4. A couple other things to note here is that there are some they won't let you merge, and that would be your tax agencies, vendors with transactions through the bank feeds, vendors with direct deposits. So anyhow, you would put in the name of the vendor or the part of the name that you want to look for, and then it'll pull those up. And you can even include inactive vendors if you wanted to, and then you click on Next. And then now the next thing to do is QuickBooks will walk you through. Here were the vendors that came up. So you are going to assign which one is going to be your master. This is the one that you want to keep. Then you want to make sure that you've got all the information that you want updated. So if I look over here, I have a complete address. Here I don't. And here the master doesn't have the name of the business, if you want that in showing up in here. So you want to get this formatted, phone numbers and so on, formatted the way that you want. And then notice that there's a little button that says backup and merge, which is what I would recommend versus just merging. And you can merge up to 4 records. And then once it's merged, it'll let you know where it put the backup. The newest feature, and this is for QuickBooks Enterprise and the Platinum version of Enterprise, so not the silver or gold, only for the Platinum, would be there is now the ability to do mobile scanning. So for those of you who have inventory, it's either out in a warehouse or it's out in the field and you want the ability to scan. I mean, in a lot of cases, you know, in the past, you've had to have a scanner has to be, you know, somehow wired to the computer. And a lot of places, that's really not even feasible. So the new feature in Enterprise Platinum is now you have the ability. So you can use a cell phone, has to be an Android 4.4 or higher. And what I want you to see, there's an app that you download for the Android phone. I'll show you that in a minute. And what I want you to see is in the app, then the first thing is if you're the picker, then you need to select your name. So you could have an Android phone that's in that vicinity, and it's not necessarily yours. It's just it's one that gets used for the business. And then you'll find that you've got different pick lists. So you decide which pick list you're going to work on. Let me actually see if I can go into this a little bit more. And then the next thing you're going to do is, oops, I'm not going to be able to see it here, is then you're going to be able to start doing your picking. So in this case, you can hit the plus sign, the minus sign to go up. It's letting you see the item. So it's nice that this is mobile. And then, but the other, this is going to be, I won't say it's necessarily quite manual, but it's not going to be scanning. So it's going to be you keying in the numbers one way or another. So the barcode does not come with the Android device, but it does come with the Zebra MC40 scanner. And then there is not quite a similar warehouse app that you would put on the scanner. So this is, right now, this is the only one that works with QuickBooks Enterprise. They will be working on others, but I think they probably want to see where interest is and who needs what. These are going to range in price from $700 to $1,500, so definitely more expensive than your Android phone, but depending on the size of your business and how quickly you want things to move, then that certainly is one to keep in mind. But this is the Android app, so you can go to the Play Store and you can download. And again, I'll kind of zoom in here so you can see a little bit what it looks like, but it's select from the pick list, and then you can send the pick list back to QuickBooks, and then the scanning. So let me get back to my normal size here. And then the other thing that they've done with, again, this is the QuickBooks Enterprise and the Platinum version, is that the sales order workflow now has been much improved. So, and this again is the Platinum. So if you are in the Platinum version of Enterprise, then you want to go into your advanced inventory settings. So with advanced inventory, you could have multiple locations. It could be as simple as a truck in a warehouse. But you do have the ability to do multiple locations and do bins. You can do serial or lot number tracking, first in, first out, and barcoding. Those have been in, whether you knew it was there or not. But now there's this new tab that says Site Operation, and it says New Sales Order Fulfillment Worksheet. Now, if you were in QuickBooks Premier or the Enterprise Silver or Gold, there is a Sales Order Fulfillment Worksheet, but this one is different in its look. Obviously, it needs to do a lot of the same things, but it has more functionality. So, and you'll see that in just a minute. If then the next thing would be to install the device that you're going to use. So whether it was the Android phone with the app on it, or if you're going to use the Zebra MC40. So you'll end up selecting the one that you want to do. And then once you do, then you will get a passcode from the app so that you can connect it to the system here. then if we are looking at another aspect of the sales order fulfillment is someone's got to go pick what's on the sales orders, right? So with this new feature, your pickers are vendors. Now I realize in many cases your pickers are your employees, but in order for this to work, they need to be vendors. And sometimes your pickers could be contractors, so that's why they selected vendors. And if you do have if your pickers are your employees, obviously you have them as an employee name. The vendor name then needs to be slightly different, so it could be their name -V for vendor. But pickers are vendors, so you can't use an employee name and make them a picker here. You need to put in a name. The next thing you need to do is you need to say what type of user they are. There is a specific one when you turn on the new sales order feature, then you'll have the option to select warehouse user. And then those will be the ones that can actually work out with the Androids and the scanners. So if we take a look at a sales order here, you'll see once you've turned on this new sales order feature, that there's actually a column that will say pick status and pick quantity. So within here, and that shows up, obviously that shows up for you, not your customer, but it's nice that you now have an idea of what's going on if you have a sales order that's open on your screen. So you can see that this was sent for picking. And then now we are in the sales order fulfillment worksheet. So once you see that there's the orders and then there's your actual pick list. So here you'll end up, there's different ways you can select an order or customer order. Because this is advanced inventory, if you have multiple locations, you can choose sites. You can also choose the order status, if it's open, partially open, and whether or not you can fulfill it. But here is the list of open sales orders. So if you look over here, it says order status. And if you're in, if you have multiple sites, then you will also have the column for the site. You can decide if you're just working in one site, which probably most times you are. I just wanted you to see that you could actually select the sites that you're working on. And then in the other sales order fulfillment worksheet, it has icons for whether it's yes, no, or whether you can fill it or not, or if you can fill part of it. But this tries to make it really clear. Yes, you can fill all of it. No, you can't fill any of it, and then the partial being you can fill some of it. And so now you can see that we got the list, and so you can see your list of items, what's on order, what's been invoiced, what's open, what's available, the amount, and then here's the amount to fulfill, the site that you're going to use, and if you have bins or locations within the sites, then you have that you can assign to. And then whether or not from the site it's fulfilled, that you're able to fulfill the order. It might be another site could and this one can, or vice versa. So, but you do have those options. And again, so when you go ahead and now we've created the pick list and it's got the order number, you would have the picker's name here. You can add notes. So if there was a problem with trying to fill it or something or you couldn't fill it all and you want, as you're sending this back, for whatever reason, if you need to add some notes, you've got that ability. You're limited to 70 characters, but at least you can send some comments back now. So you can either create and send, which would be electronically or digitally, or you can actually create and print. I mean, you can still do the paper pick sheets if you need to, but you do have some options here. And then you can go back to your orders. So again, this one, you would see if we're down here where it says picked, you would see that it's picked and you would have the quantity that was picked. This part would be updated for you. I'm in a sample file, so there's a few things I couldn't do with the sample file. So that's the highlights for the new features in the QuickBooks Desktop 2018 for Pro, Premier, and Enterprise. I do have a QuickBooks feature comparison chart that I make every year. So that's on my website, and I frequently, when I'm working with people, businesses, and we're trying to figure out, which version do you want, I give it to you because it kind of gives you an objective thing to look at. It gives you an idea of maybe there's features you didn't know were an option. you don't know what you don't know, right? So sometimes that's helpful. So that chart is a big help. I do have a couple videos, one that will show you what you get in QuickBooks Premier that you don't get in QuickBooks Pro. If you're like me, I'm a very visual person. I want to see it. And then if the other one is what you would get in Enterprise that you don't get in QuickBooks Premier. So again, trying to help people differentiate. There is, with Enterprise, you can get a free 30-day trial. You can get that link from me to download. I'm happy to demo, or if you got the trial and you've got some questions. The trial does have a sample company file, which is really nice. I've had a couple trials of software and like there's nothing set up and I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So at least there's data in there. So that's helpful, but I'm happy to demo. And then I am a reseller, so you can certainly order through me. I do get some special pricing, have some special deals, so always happy to work with you. But if you've got any questions, you can reach out to me. So let me go back up here. My name is Monica Muir, and you can just go to my website, muirassociates.com, and I'll have this up there, but I'll also have the comparison videos and the chart, and then you can email me off of there with any of your questions. So thanks for your time, and hope this has been helpful. Bye for now.